Every teenager comes to a point in their life where they must decide what direction their future is heading. For me, this came during my senior year of high school. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do after high school, and I really hadn't thought about it. One day, a good friend of mine talked to me about joining the military. I had never wanted to consider joining any branch of the military, but I was at a point where I had to move forward. So I went and talked to an Air Force recruiter to see if it would be the right fit for me. I've had to make a lot of tough decisions in my life, in which I did not know what the outcome would be, but my decision to join and become a member of the United States Air Force has been one of the best choices I've ever made. Now you might be thinking to yourself, why didn't I think about college? I didn't like going to school, so I knew attending college would not be the right decision for me. I didn't want to start something that I knew I probably wouldn't finish. I didn't realize how important and beneficial a degree could be. I'm from a small town, and none of my family members were in the military, so I didn't know much about the Air Force or the military in general. And it became a very intimidating decision for me because I didn't know what to expect. My original plan was to join for 4 years and then separate from the Air Force and become an Illinois State Trooper. I ended up enlisting in the Security Forces career field to help get some training that could benefit me later. So 3 months after I graduated high school, I shipped off to basic training and then got my first assignment to Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota. During my first year of being in the Air Force, I had already been on more planes and traveled to more places than I had in my entire life prior to joining. I really began to enjoy all the benefits of traveling the Air Force had to offer. To this day, I've been to 8 different countries and 22 states. At my 4-year mark in the Air Force, it was time for me to decide whether or not to re-enlist. By this point, I had gotten married and had a 1-year-old child. I began to realize the pay and benefits associated with the Air Force, and my wife and I decided it would be best for me to make a career in the Air Force. After being in for a while, I realized the need to pursue my education at the college level. Fortunately, the Air Force increased the tuition assistance to 100% and simplified the online process with the inception of the Air Force Virtual Education Center. Before joining, I had not even considered going to college, and now I'm only a few credit hours away from attaining a degree. I know that the education I get now will benefit me in more ways than one when it comes time for me to retire and move on from the Air Force. I plan to get a government job when I retire from the military, and I know that the education I receive now will greatly enhance my success in doing so. Since being in the military and going to different places, I've been introduced to some new hobbies such as hunting, fishing, and motorcycle riding. After I retire, I plan on making the time that I don't have now to pursue these activities further. During my 9 years in the Air Force, I've met a lot of good people and made a lot of great friends that I know I'll have forever. Though I plan to retire and live in Missouri, I will definitely still be traveling the country and exploring new things when I go visit them. These awesome people and the experiences to come will surely keep me from getting old too fast. Though a scary choice, my decision to join the Air Force has been a positive one thus far, and I'm optimistic that my career path will continue down the same direction. Though the Air Force may not be right for everyone, through explaining my life prior to joining, my experiences while being in, and my future plans after the Air Force, I hope you can see how beneficial the Air Force life has been for me.